Let us discuss our case study 10th. Mr. B is an interior decorator. B is an interior decorator by profession. He also delivers online lectures on interior decoration via e-commerce platform Indeco Academy. The relevant information from Mr. B's Indeco Academy account is as under. Now here they are saying the date of credit of services to account of Mr. B. This is 31/5/2020. Date of payment to Mr. B 10/6/2020. Value of services provided is 2 lakh rupees. Now B is an interior decorator and he is delivering online lectures also, and they have taken a platform basically Indeco Academy through which they are the e-commerce platform through which these lectures have been delivered. And the relevant information is from Mr. B's Indeco Academy account is given as under. So this is a services which have been provided through e-commerce service provider. Then on 31/10/2020 they have credited with 1,50,000. Date of payment is on 10/10/2020. Date of payment is 10/10/2020. And 31/3/21 they have credited 1,40,000 rupees to his account, and date of payment is 10/4/21. In addition to the above, Mr. B received rupees 20,000 on 18/2/21 directly from a student instead of through a Indeco Academy payment portal. Mr. B has not furnished his PAN or Aadhaar number to Indeco Academy. B has not furnished PAN or say Aadhaar number to Indeco Academy, but has furnished his driving license for KYC requirement. So that doesn't, for TDS purposes, what we require is PAN number. Now on 5/5/2020, B has provided interior decorating services to Mr. N in Mumbai, having business turnover of 1.2 crores during financial year 1920 for his office premises as well as residential premises. The consideration for which was 40,000. This is for office premises. 60,000 for residential premises, respectively. B has provided his PAN details to Mr. N for invoicing purposes. Now here PAN has been furnished, and here the payment has been made. Basically the services on 5/5/2020 B has provided the services. Mr. B's gross receipt for interior decorator profession, excluding for online lectures from clients in India, excluding fees from online lectures from clients in India, including in total for previous year 2021 is 40 lakh rupees. So this is except for the online services. These except for these, it is what? 40 lakh rupees. Further, 1,10,000 is payable by Mr. B to Tumble LLC, a social networking website having no office in India, and 1,05,000 to Doodle Inc., USA, for giving online advertisement for the purpose of attracting foreign clients. Though Doodle Inc., USA's office in India, the said office is involved in providing designing services and nothing in relation to online advertisement. So whenever the case of online advertisement comes, what must strike in your mind? That there will be a equalization levy to be deducted. Okay. Fortunately, Mr. B got one client in country A with which India does not have a DTAA, from whom he has received 3,50,000 net income after deduction of 50,000 as foreign tax. So it has received 4 lakhs from the net income after TDS of 50,000 foreign tax. So basically has received 3,50,000 after deduction of foreign tax of 50,000. Profits of Mr. B computed as per the books of accounts maintained under 44 AE is 24 lakhs. He has, however, not got his books of accounts audited. Maybe has gone for presumptive basis taxation under 44 ADA. Now, the question is Indico Academy required to deduct tax at source on the amount received or receivable by Mr. B? If so, what is the amount of tax to be deducted at source? Now they have introduced a provision of section 194O. That is, an e-commerce operator is required to deduct tax at source. Under section 194O, it has been provided that e-commerce operator is required to deduct what? Tax at source. At a time of payment or credit at rate of 1%, and the said provisions under section 194O has been introduced with effect from what? 110/2020. And it is 0.75%, and basically if PAN is not furnished, the rate of tax to be deducted at source will be 5%. Rate of tax to be deducted at source in such a case will be 5%, and in case the e-commerce participant is an individual and HUF, and the gross amount of services through e-commerce supplier during the previous year does not exceed rupees 5 lakhs, then in that particular circumstance, e-commerce, there will be no requirement of what? Tax deduction at source if he has furnished his permanent account number. So that has been provided that no deduction will be made under 194O from any sum which has been credited or paid or likely to be credited or paid during the previous year to the account of the e-commerce participant. Being an individual or HUF, if the gross amount of such sale or service during the previous year does not exceed 5 lakhs and such e-commerce participant has what? Furnished his permanent account number or Aadhaar number to the e-commerce operator. But here permanent account number has not been furnished. Therefore, in this particular case, the e-commerce, supply e-commerce operator will be required to deduct tax at source at rate of 5%. This section has been introduced with effect from what? 1st of October 2020. Now here it has also been provided that if any payment is made directly by the, say, recipient rather than making payment through e-commerce operator, then also there will be requirement of the tax deduction at source. Now here, after 1st of October 2020, it is 1,50,000 plus 1,40,000, and Mr. B has also made directly the payment. So it is 190 and 210. So in this case, rate of TDS under section 194O will be 5% of 210. 2,10,000 into 5%, that works out to be 10,500 rupees because PAN has not been furnished. So the answer in this case will be what? In this particular circumstance, what will be the answer? So actually it is 310. 150 plus 140 plus 20, 310. 310 into 5% works out to be 15,500. So because the answer was not telling from any of the options, there was a calculation mistake. So it is 15,500 will be the amount of the tax which will be required to be deducted at source. Is N required to deduct tax at source under 194J? If so, on what amount tax is required to be deducted at source? What is the amount of TDS? Here now 194J, and they are asking about the N. Now here interior decorator service, is provided to J, provided to N, and that is 40,000 rupees is for the business purposes. So on 40,000 rupees, tax will be required to be deducted at source at rate of 10% because the services have been provided prior to 14th of May 2020. So it will be 4,000 rupees will be the amount of tax which will be required to be deducted at source. On personal use, no TDS under section 194J. For personal use, there will be no requirement of tax deduction at source. So it will be, yes, tax will be required to be deducted at source, and under 194J on 40,000 rupees at rate of 10%, that is what, 4,000 rupees will be the amount of TDS. If N is required to deduct tax at source under 194M, if so, what is the amount of tax to be deducted? Now here, under 194M, under section 194M, tax is required to be deducted at source only when the sum credited or paid exceeds rupees what 50 lakhs to the account of the payee. Then only the tax will be what required to be deducted at source. And there, an individual and HF who is not required to deduct the tax at source under 194J, they will be responsible for making the TDS here. So actually, N is required to deduct tax at source under section 194J. Therefore, he will not be covered under 194M, and therefore no tax will be required to be deducted at source under section 194M. Then next question is Mr. B is required to deduct equalization levy for the amounts payable to Tumble LLC or Doodle Inc. Now here equalization levy at rate of 6% is to be deducted if the amount credited or paid, if the amount which has been credited or paid is not less than rupees say 1 lakh. So here basically we are availing online advertisement services. So how much amount has been paid? It exceeds rupees 1 lakh. On 1,10,000 and 1,05,000, equalization levy will be there. 1,10,000 at rate of 6%, that is 6,600, and 1,05,000 at rate of 6%, that is 6,300 rupees. So in this case, equalization levy will be deducted by the person who has availed the online advertisement services, that is B, while making the payment or credit, which I said earlier. So here the answer will be no, there is no requirement to deduct equalization levy. That is not correct. Yes, 6,600 is to be deducted on account of amount payable to Tumble LLC. No deduction is however required to be made for Doodle Inc. That is wrong. 6,300 Doodle Inc. No deduction for Tumble. That is also wrong. The answer will be yes. 6,600 to be deducted on amount payable to Tumble LLC and 6,300 to be deducted on amount which has been payable to Doodle Inc. Now, what is a Mr. B's gross income tax liability, assuming that he does not exercise the option under section 115 BAC? He has not exercised the option under section 115 BAC. They are asking for determining his gross income tax liability. Now let us go for the information relating to B. Now what information has been provided? Here Mr. B's gross receipts from interior decorator profession excluding fees from online lectures from clients including Mr. N. In total previous year is rupees 40 lakhs. So here this is 40 lakh rupees. Now what about the online? Lectures, online lectures is 2 lakh. This is 2 lakh is the receipt. Then 1,50,000. 1,50,000. This is also online. Plus 1,40,000. And 20,000 is also online. Okay, that is included. And about Mr. N's, including Mr. N. Okay. Now here, fortunately B, one of the client based on country A with India does not have a TTA, from whom he has received 3,50,000 plus 50,000 as the foreign tax credit is there. So from client outside India, this is about the, they are saying from clients in India including N. This receipt has been provided. So foreign client is how much? 4 lakh rupees. Now this is clients in India. So what they are getting is 40 lakhs plus 2 lakh is from 150 and 140. 2 lakhs plus 150 plus 140 plus 20,000 plus 4 lakhs. So it works out to 49 lakh and 10,000 is total receipts. It is 49 lakh 10,000. It is total receipts. Under section 44 ADA, what will be the deemed PGBP? Deemed PGBP will be 50% of the same, that is 24 lakh 55,000. 24 lakh 55,000 will be the deemed PGBP. So in case if he shows his income 24 lakh rupees, he will have to get his accounts audited. But since he has not get his accounts audited, his deemed PGBP will be its income. That will be the total income. Because it is more than what? 24 lakhs. So we'll be computing tax on rupees 24 lakh and 55,000. Tax on 24 lakh 55,000. So on first 2 lakh 50,000, presuming that he is not a senior citizen, 2 lakh 50,000 is nil. Next 2 lakh 50,000 it is what? 5%, that is 12,500. Next 5 lakh, it is 20%, that is 1 lakh. Then next 14 lakh and 55,000, it is 30%. 14 lakh, that is 4,36,500. So it is plus 5,49,000 into 4% HEC, add HEC. That is 21960. So the liability works out to be 570,960. 570,960. This is the gross income tax liability. This is basically the gross income tax liability. That is 570,960. So this was one question which we have discussed relating to what? Our case scenario, case scenario 6th, 10th, which was dealing with the provisions relating to the equalization levy also, deemed income also, new section 194O that has been introduced, TDS provisions of e-commerce operator that we have discussed here. So a good question was there, and it can be asked in your examination.